crime.
It is the 21st of May 2015. Hello there and welcome to Joy News Prime here on Joy News on Norte TV and also on ABN TV across Europe. I am Gifty Ando-Apia. Coming up in the bulletin, police team of forensic experts arrived at Bolgatanga to conduct an autopsy on the body of the late NPP regional chairman to ascertain the actual cause of his death. Meanwhile, vice presidential candidate of the NPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, calls for calm as the police handles what he describes as a criminal matter. Judicial Service Staff Association has called off its 2-day-old strike following an order for the payment of their outstanding arrears by the Finance Ministry. As the country battles with energy supply, some telecommunication companies say they spend about 60% of their revenue on fuel to power their generators. And also, Municipal Chief Executive of Judicial calls for immediate transfer of some police officers stationed in the municipalities. The details and more after this. The outpatient department, accident and emergency wards of the police hospital in Accra will be temporarily shut down over the weekend. The closure is to allow renovation works to be carried out.
From 2 p.m. on Friday, May 22 to 8 a.m. Monday, May 25, the general public will be unable to access the OPD, accident and emergency centers of the police hospital in Accra. Routine maintenance is expected to take place over the weekend, which the police service says is to help the hospital deliver efficient service.
We are undertaking periodic renovation in these areas, including making it easy for handicapped people to be wheeled around, etc. And also believe that this will help us to offer efficient service to our clientele. There's a very, very temporary crucial. It is in the interest of the public, it is in the interest of the people who are sick that we make such a renovation so that when they are there, they feel comfortable. Yeah, because health care is very, very essential.
Meanwhile, hospital authorities are directing seriously ill persons who intend to visit the hospital to seek medical attention at other health facilities.
Let's talk economics now. On Wednesday, the Finance Minister said Tekwe schooled Ghanaians on what government's perspective is on the state of the economy. He spoke about possible layoffs, but also gave reasons to be hopeful of a better economy looking forward. We have been engaging some traders and market women on their perspectives of the Ghanaian economy. The traders are calling on government to expedite economic recovery since their hard work over the years have not yielded much. They blame this largely on recent development, especially the free fall of the cedi and the power crisis.
Events in Ghana over the last few years have led to a very difficult situation for businesses here in the country. According to trade unions such as the Ghana Union of Traders Association and the Association of Ghana Industries, a number of businesses have had to fold up. Now, those who have stood the test of time have had to adopt various ways of sustaining their businesses. Today at the market, we'll speak to some of these business owners as to how they're living up to it.
Me, I'm putting the blame on the duty because the duty went high and they were rather going for the cheap one instead of coming for the higher one. And that is how it started slowly, not making profit, paying your rent and paying tax. It's eating into your main capital. So that is how it started. For 2 years now, I haven't bought anything, but with the complaint, the taxes are too much.
Why haven't you bought anything in 2 years?
The last one I bought became a problem. I couldn't sell because of the duty. So since then, I haven't bought anything in. It keeps going and coming, going and coming. You don't know, maybe you get it higher now, and then you go for the goods. And then later when it comes out, and somebody also change and then go for the same goods, that person is going to get it lesser than yours. And usually when you go for the goods, it takes time before it comes. So maybe by the time the goods comes and the dollar goes down, the one who is going afresh will make more profit than you do. And if you don't take care, you can't even sell yours. I don't see any help. If there's any help, it should go into the duty and the small taxes. So if those duties and the small taxes are not there, you know you can go bring in the goods and then make some profit. But now, to me, I know it's only few people who are making it now. Because wherever you go, people complain.
Why do you think those few people are making it? Because the same economy.
That is the thing. You can't tell. That is the thing. If only they are paying the same duty others are paying, why are they making it? That's a big question. So, me, I'm believing it's coming from the duty side.
You
The way of making it. But you who go the genuine way will suffer.
Minister of Finance Tekwe assured businesses the latest figures show the economy is on a path to recovery. But these business owners tell Joy News they fear their businesses cannot wait. Nonetheless, they will pray for a better economy.
Oh yeah, we hope for the best. We are praying that things will be changing so that the business will go on.
But how much more can your business wait for the change?
That's the problem that we are in now. You see, until when? So we wait until the crisis is gone. It's a problem for us to wait for a long time before the government do something about this crisis. So the government should do something and start something right now so that the business will go on.
How are you hoping that things will work out for you in the next couple of years too?
It's only prayers. Praying God will bring something new out that can save the business.
One thing is apparent, that these traders are adopting the wait-and-see attitude. Each day they wake up to their businesses, holding on to the least of hope that there will be recovery in the economy anytime soon. Kemini Amano for Joy News, Accra.
You're watching Joy News Prime here on Joy News on Multi TV and also on ABN TV. We'll take a break. We'll return with some more, please. Welcome back and many thanks for staying. Now, in the midst of the sadness and chaos over the death of the NPP Upper East Regional Chairman, Vice Presidential candidate Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is calling for calm as the police handled what he describes as a criminal matter. He spoke to journalists at his residence in Kanda.
For us, we are in mourning. Adams was a regional chairman of our party, and so the attack on him is really an attack on the party. It's an attack on the party. And so we are standing in solidarity. We will commiserate with his family and see to it that he is given a fitting burial and funeral. As all of you are aware, the flag bearer, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, is currently on an assignment abroad. He has, as a result of what has happened, cut his trip short, and so we should expect him back in Ghana tomorrow, inshallah. And so we would just want all of you to be calm, all of our supporters to be calm. This is not a period for reaching hasty conclusions. Let's allow the law to take its course and the investigations to take place. What Adams Mahama needs now are our prayers. We need to pray for him. We need to pray for his wife and his children and his extended family. Healthy man that they saw in the morning yesterday, and by the night he was in deep pain, and by this morning he was gone so quickly. They are going through a lot. So we're praying for them, and we're assuring them of our support. The whole party is behind them, and we'll see them through this.
Still on the same issue, National Youth Organizer Sami Ewuku was also at Dr. Baumia's residence. He's calling for calm among the youth of the party as the party's hierarchy address this difficult situation.
These are not very pretty times. We are in difficult times, and we are mourning. In our attempt to help or to even air our frustration, we might be tempted to also look out for possible people to blame. It is normal, but let us not be caught into that strategy. We have a strong party, a formidable one, and we may have our own petty issues, but the NPP is on course. Very strong and formidable party. I
wonder whether you'll be in a position to give us an idea of the internal mechanisms and actions the party is putting in place to ensure that it doesn't continue to make your party unpopular. I mean, this acid incident is not the first time, and so for your position, they might use it against you and say, how come that when members of the same party disagree, they go at each other this bad?
I mean, and the acid thing that you talked about, the first one was an NDC panelist pouring it on an NPP panelist in the Brown Huffle. And this one too has happened. But we're treating it as a criminal matter. The moment you color crime or people hide behind the covers of political parties, it makes it difficult for you to get to the bottom of the matter. And so we should not be caught in that web of painting it in political colors. Nonetheless, people are from families, they are from homes before they join political parties. So we must also stand firm and say no to some of these acts. So clearly, you have a point. We haven't come out too good as a party over the past few weeks. But I think that we still have enough issues that we can also base our argument on. When people will vote for you, it doesn't really matter some of these things. I tell you the truth. You had in 2012 where Rawlings was kicked out, his wife was kicked out, NDC didn't have Josiah and all those people. They made sure their chairman sat down for over 18 hours without peeing and all that. The founder playing with the balls of the deputy general secretary. But yes, they were able to put their party in shape. And
news today has been dominated by death of the NPP's Upper East chairman, Adams Mahama. The news also caught the attention of members of parliament, because Member of Parliament for Ebuakwa South, Samuel Atachia, wants former President Kufuor and flag bearer Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo to show leadership and resolve the crisis in the party. He was speaking with parliamentary correspondent Elton Broby.
My condolences go to the bereaved family, the one who's lost a father, the one who's lost a husband, and probably the one who's lost a son, and also to the MPP family in the north. But I can assure you that what is happening, with all respect, is very strange to our tradition. There's a tradition.
Samuel Atachia meeting by the Minority Caucus in Parliament on the death of the Upper East Regional Chairman of the party, Mahama Adams.
My condolences go to the bereaved family, the one who's lost a father, the one who's lost a husband, and probably the one who's lost a son, and also to the MPP family in the north. But I can assure you that what is happening, with all respect, is very strange to our tradition. There's a tradition in which we believe in dialogue. If there are any sharp differences in the family, we'll sit down and resolve it. But to use violence as a tool of, social engineering is an abhorrent thing that we all condemn. So I condemn what has happened. It should never have happened, and the perpetrator should be brought to book.
The minority MPs plan to go to Bolgatanga on Friday to mourn with the family of Mahama Adams, who, until his death, was the Upper East Regional Chairman for the MPP. Member of Parliament for Nabdam in the Upper East region, Boniface Gambilla, wants action taken on executives suspected to have played a role in the acid attack that is believed to have led to Mahama Adams' death.
And it's a disaster where criminals like this can go pour acid on a person if it is for political reason. That's the most stupid thing to do. I hear my brother Adams was able to tell the police, identify the assailant. Bulgarians who were two. The two that he saw, he identified them because he knows everybody, virtually knows everybody in Bulgaria. And once he mentioned the names, I understand one has been arrested by the police. And so the law has to take its course. This is a crime. It's a criminal case. It's a criminal matter. Whether party or religion or whatever, to attack somebody in this manner is a direct murder case.
Police officers from the formed police unit earlier today besieged the NPP headquarters to prevent any untoward occurrences. Director of the Police Operations, COP John Kudalo, who was at the party's headquarters, told journalists his men were there to protect life and property, as well as maintain order for law-abiding citizens to go about their normal business without fear. His comment followed concerns that a group of NPP youth are planning reprisals over the death of the Upper East Regional Chairman Adams Mahama.
This morning, as we all heard the sad news of the incident that happened at Bolgatanga in the Upper East region. So, as policemen who are proactive and interested in preventing life and property, we decided to come here and then secure the NPP headquarters, because that's the center of any agitation if there should be. That's why we are here, to ensure that there's peace, order and law, so that the road can be at least cleared for the law-abiding citizens to go about their duties, and also to save the headquarters in case of any untoward action. You can see the anti-riot police officers. Mostly it's a crowd control. What is happening would normally demand crowd control. So I see that there's nobody here with arms. Those with arms have been strategically positioned, but all those here are using riot control equipment. Well, if there should be anything here, it will be mainly riot control management and this information. Immediately the signal is packed up, as policemen will go to the drawing board and look at the possible repercussions, and we have to move in. If we should wait for any signal, it will be too late.
On the same issue, the National Democratic Congress is asking the flag bearer of the NPP, Nana Akufo-Addo, to quickly stop the growing violence in the party. The call comes on the heel of the acid attack on the Upper East Regional Chairman of the NPP. His death has been followed by a series of angry protests and mob violence in Bolgatanga, as well as the NPP headquarters here in Accra. Joy News' Francis Aban spoke to the NDC's General Secretary, Johnson Asiedun-Ketia.
The recent events in the MPP over the past few hours has been a source of worry, especially with the death of the Upper East Regional Chairman, Adams Mahama, who passed after an acid attack. This has caused a lot of concern for many. I'm in the office of the General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, Mr. Johnson Asiedun-Ketia, for his thoughts from the NDC on what has happened to Mr. Adams Mahama. Thanks for your time, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
So what does the NDC make of what's happened in the MPP, specifically with the death of the Upper East Regional Chairman?
Well, when we heard the news, we received it with disbelief and shock and everything combined. But as the dust settled, it turned out that what we were hearing was indeed true. So on behalf of the National Democratic Congress, I wish to condemn this act with all the might that we can command. We think it is a dastardly act. It is something that shouldn't happen in the politics of this country in this day and age. We wish to express our deepest and heartfelt condolences to the members of the family of the deceased, particularly the wife and children. We also want to urge the police service and the other security agencies to take this matter with all the seriousness that it demands, conduct thorough investigations with the view of bringing the perpetrators to book as criminals and not as politicians. We also would want to urge various discussants on the media platforms to exercise maximum restraint. Normally, what frustrates the work of the security services is the prejudices that attend the discussions on radio and the media when acts of such nature happen.
Security analyst Dr. Kwesi Enning also foresees reprisals following the death of Adams Mahama and says reinforcement of police presence at sensitive offices and homes of key NPP executives is instructive if the country is to prevent any such attacks. Dr. Enning adds, contrary to media discussions, the genesis of the attack is beyond politics. Nonetheless, the fallout could degenerate into a serious national security threat.
Following the tragic killing of the Upper East Regional Chairman, Alhaji Adams Mahama, security analyst Dr. Kwesi Enning is warning that the media should avoid having a narrow focus when attributing reasons for the acid attack. He says the attack is not necessarily political.
As individuals, we have multiple lives and multiple roles. Okay, so that if in one of your roles there is tension, somebody might want to exploit the tension that you have within in another role that is not in the public domain. So people may necessarily have exploited this. So let's give the investigators time to do the investigations, but it must be done quickly. Those who are arrested placed before the courts and be given the severest of punishments as a deterrent.
The worry of reprisal attacks, he added, is very real, and there are wide ramifications for national security.
This is not only about one particular region. There are citizens from that region who are in other parts of Ghana, and that fight can replicate itself. So we don't want copycat insecurities around this country. So I think the onus is on the security forces, and I certainly do know that they've already started to work.
Dr. Enning advised that addressing the link between youth unemployment and youth violence should be the prime agenda for political leaders as Ghana heads to the polls in 2016.
All political parties must raise their voices against violence as we go into election 2016. And I'm happy that the former ECOWAS chair raised youth unemployment as a potential security threat. Unfortunately, we haven't taken youth violence, youth unemployment, and the nexus or possible relationship to crime and radicalization seriously now. But I think our leaders must consistently begin to dissociate themselves, the organizations that they lead, from these acts.
Dr. Kwesi Enning also reminded the public that crimes and criminality should be devoid of political colors.
So let's now go and look at the particular case or the particular story that has generated all of these other side stories. The late Upper East Regional Chairman of the NPP, Adams Mahama, has not been buried as required by Islamic principles. And of course, we've established that he died from that acid attack. According to Islamic principles, a person must be buried same day he or she dies. But a police forensic team, which was this afternoon dispatched from Accra to Bolgatanga to conduct the autopsy on the late chairman's body to ascertain the actual cause of death, could not finish its work. Upper East correspondent Abe Sori has more on this.
Adams Mahama had not yet entered his residence around midnight on Wednesday when two assailants stopped his car and poured acid on his face and entire body. Aide to Mr. Mahama, Zachariah Osman, confirmed the attack to Joy News, describing his boss as being in critical condition, fighting for his life in the Bolgatanga hospital. Obviously distraught, he added that Adams Mahama's whole body was burnt by the corrosive substance. Public Relations Officer of the Upper East Regional Police Command, ASP Thomas Agbanyo, also confirmed the incident to Joy News and said one of the assailants had been arrested.
After the arrest of one of the perpetrators of this crime, he has been put in the cell. We are now manhunting for the other person, and as of now, we have not yet got him.
Mr. Mahama eventually passed, leaving a grieving family behind. By 10 a.m. on Thursday after his demise, the gathering of MPP party supporters at the Bolgatanga hospital had thickened. Agitated youth also vandalized a Mercedes-Benz, conveying the second regional vice chairman, Osman Konkwanaba. The vice chairman, popularly called Boga, was being driven by an old man when the youth hurled stones and bricks at the car. A team of forensic experts arrived in Bolgatanga Thursday afternoon and conducted an autopsy on the body of the late chairman to determine the actual cause of death. According to the police, the results of the autopsy will be made public on Friday. Meanwhile, there has been no official communication from the family of the late Adams Mahama or the regional party executives, as they have been locked in meetings in relation to the late chairman's funeral arrangements.
You're still watching Joy News Prime here on Joy News on Multi TV and also on ABN TV. We'll take a break again. When we return, we'll tell you about the Judicial Service Staff Association's nationwide strike. We'll be back with that story. Many thanks for staying. The Judicial Service Staff Association has called off its two-day-old strike. This follows an order for the payment of their outstanding arrears by the Finance Ministry. The industrial action affected the administration of justice across the country.
The strike by the Judicial Service staff was to demand unpaid allowances due them. Their action left many lawyers and their clients stranded at the various courts on the first day. A meeting on Thursday involving the Employment and Labour Relations Minister, Haruna Idrisu, leadership of the Judicial Service staff, and the Judicial Secretary, however, managed to yield some positive results.
We are happy to inform you that they will be back to work probably beginning tomorrow. And I want to believe that on our part as government, we have committed to honor our obligations, which was to ensure speedy release of outstanding allowances that were owed them. I do have reliable information that the Ministry of Finance, through the Controlling Accountant General and the Bank of Ghana, have accordingly credited the Judicial Service with a set amount of money which should be adequate enough to deal with the outstanding allowances that is due and which is to be made payable to workers of the Judicial Service. We therefore expect full restoration of work tomorrow, so that the wheels of justice administration in Ghana will run much more efficiently and effectively, whilst we all work together to avoid some of these instances which, in my view, are avoidable.
The Labour Minister also announced the process is underway to review the conditions of service for members of JUSAC.
The second leg of the concerns of the judicial workers has to do with the fact that they do not have conditions of service. We have accordingly, in discussions with the Judicial Secretary representing the Judicial Service, he acknowledges that some proposals have been received from the Judicial Service Workers Association, together with existing service conditions that are known peculiar to the Judicial Service. We anticipate that by 30th June, we should have a draft document which should reflect conditions of service for all judicial workers.
JUSAC President Alex Nate, in an interview with Joy News, said their conditions of service remains key in ensuring industrial harmony in the judicial service.
We were not unrealistic. We were only making a realistic demand, a demand that had been already provided for. It's not as if we are asking for a new thing. And these payments that are made to the judicial service staff have specified times when they are to be paid. And it was because these times were not recognized. That was why we protested. But with our engagement with the ministry, all these concerns have been addressed, and we are satisfied. The staff saw that the decision on steady leaves had become discretionary to management. which shouldn't be the case. It must be there must be a policy that both management and workers have agreed upon that can be enforced. And this was not the case. And so we think that through our representations, they have seen the concerns we raised, and from the intimations made so far, we are optimistic that sooner than later, some positive steps will be taken on these concerns, and we will be glad.
The Judicial Service staff are expected to resume work on Friday, May 22.
Up next is Business with Abigail Adamakowenchi.
Business.
Abigail is here with what's latest in the world of business. And Abigail, a lot of people are complaining. Now we hear the telcos are also complaining.
Exactly, about Dumso, of course. I mean, you and I have been complaining about
Hopefully they won't push it on us.
Well, hopefully. Looks like they are using more of their revenue to fuel their plants.
Let's hear the details now.
Yeah. And as the country battles with energy supply, some telecommunication companies have said they spend about 60% of their revenue on fuel to power their generators. Airtel Ghana and Techno Ghana lament the situation is crippling industry. They spoke to Joy Business.
The energy crisis is dealing a big blow to us as well in Techno. We are having to use about 60% of our total cost of operation is going into having to provide alternative means of generating power. So it's delving a great blow to us. But what we can say is that once you have a good product and the product moves a lot, I mean, it only can reduce your margin. But we are very strong on the market, and we're hoping that once the energy crisis comes to an end, we are going to be able to match on better.
We've deployed solar panels on a pilot basis in the Ashanti region of Ghana over the past 6 months plus to assess the possibility of using solar to power our base stations. Interesting to say that 60% of our operational costs comes from fuel and grid power costs. So it's in our interest to use innovation to bring that down.
Away from Dumso matters, the group chief executive of Tullow Oil, Aidan Hervey, says the maritime dispute between Ghana and Ivory Coast will not in any way affect its operations. Speaking to Joy Business, Mr. Hervey was confident the company's operations will continue to run smoothly.
No, I think you know, we are very much an African-focused business, and we're quite happy with that. And we think this is a cycle. You know, the cycle is. I've been around for quite a long time. I've seen the ups and downs cycle. So I'm very confident that Ghana will do really well. Our projects here are doing really well. These are the sort of projects that you would want in a sort of a low-cost environment, because the capital has been spent. So we're looking at long term. Like Jubilee's a fantastic field. It's a great field. It's a big chunky field, and it'll produce for a long time to come. So I'm quite happy with the prospects here. Also, the fact that you know, I believe that while right now it's very difficult to get investment capital into Africa, that'll change as it has in the past.
Now, plans to boost broadband penetration in West Africa is underway with the launch of the second West Africa Summit and Expo. Participants are excited about the summit, explaining that the summit provides a platform to accelerate economic growth in the IT sector.
The second West Africa Telecom Summit and Expo gathered stakeholders interested in the ever-growing West Africa ICT market. Running for the second year, the summit aims at driving economic growth in West Africa with focus on consolidating the growth of broadband in the sector and provide an understanding of the propelling dynamics.
We came here, the first one, with our awesome product. It was a broadband product that we're selling. This is a whole new animal on its own, though. This is a mobile application for calling. The success on that part when we came in the first time was very good. We had a lot of customers calling us about the product. We actually increased our sales through the platform, so I thought it was very good. And then we saw it as a good opportunity to tell our clients and prospects about the new app coming up, and it's a very great platform.
Business manager for Techno Ghana, Daniel Glover, says the summit gives IT companies the expected exposure.
I think that Techno Mobile is a company that is expanding very, very fast. And you know, the telecom industry is also expanding at a very fast rate. So every program that connects or relates to telecommunication is of interest to us because there are a lot of opportunities to explore. And so this particular summit is something that we took part in. We took part in the maiden edition. We think that it was of immense benefit to us. And so this year, when we got the notice that it's going to happen again, we decided to be a part of it because of the mileage that it gives us. We're in Ghana, but this is a West African Telecom Summit, and we have great ambitions of launching out into West Africa.
The one-day summit will also celebrate the role of women in information technology. The expo hall showcased products, services and innovation from telecom operators, device manufacturers and ICT companies.
Finance Minister Sepekwe has assured Ghanaians the economy is doing well despite the current energy crisis and the free fall of the cedi. Speaking on the state of the economy, Sepekwe said exceeding revenue targets for the first quarter of the year is an indication of a brighter future for the country's economy.
There is no question. The World Bank has just released some reports and others which show that Ghana's economy will pick up. You know, obviously on condition that we finish things like the negotiation of Sankofa, which has been initialed, bringing the IPPs and whatever. And I think it's clear that, as I said, the export of 73,000 barrels of crude oil turned things around for us somewhat. You know, so if you are expecting, 80,000 barrels gas, some of which have started flowing to Etiabo, we are not going to be dependent on sporadic supply of gas. I think you can also point to those things in stabilizing the power situation and saying that you are optimistic that going forward. MCC compact we signed is going to go into effect maybe by the end of the year. When that does, we are going to have GE. We are talking to the World Bank about partial risk guarantee for these programs. So I don't think that we should also maintain a gloomy picture about the economy in as much as we don't want to maintain an overly optimistic picture. I think we need the right balance. I think Ghanaians need to maintain the right balance.
We all remain hopeful and optimistic. That'll be all for business. My name is Abigail Adomako and Gifty Andopia is coming up with more.
Business News was brought.
Executive of Judicial has called for the immediate transfer of some police officers stationed in the municipality. Afrifa Yamaponko is unhappy with the conduct of these officers. He claims dent the image of the police service. The MCA's call is based on what he calls a failure of the police to effect any arrest during a violence demonstration by some angry residents of Judicial last week.
The head of security in this municipality, I am compelled to even mention names, but my attention has been drawn to the fact that with your high level of existence here and attendance here, I get to rest my case, but this particular news will be communicated in soon after this program. These policemen must be transferred immediately to save the good name of this municipality.
These were the words of the municipal chief executive during a commissioning of divisional police station in the area. Last week, a peaceful demonstration turned violent when some of the demonstrators hurled stones at the palace of the paramount chief of Ejiso and the police to protest against the sale of a land that serves as a market center. The MCE ordered the arrest of some of the demonstrators, but the police, according to him, failed to effect arrests. On Thursday, Yamaponko made the request in the presence of the Ashanti Regional Police Commander, DCOP Nathan Kofi-Boakye, and the IGP Muhammad Al-Hassan. In response, DCOP Kofi-Boakye said he has taken note of the request for the transfer of the police officers, but states that cannot be done immediately.
We have also taken note of his requests for the transfer of some policemen and women in this metropolis.
But as for the immediacy of the thing, I don't think today is preview. But we'll take note and I'll contact him again so that I'll be brief in detail so that we'll take the appropriate action at the appropriate time.
The regional police commander assured the Ejiso Jabin MCA that the police will not hesitate to take a disciplinary action against any police officer who misconducts himself or herself or acts contrary to the police code of ethics. Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Al-Hassan, has called for community support to aid the police in the fight against crime.
The police expect nothing but a healthy, transparent, responsible, and accountable partnership. This is the only thing that can strengthen our front in the fight against crime.
Up next is sports with George Ado Jr.
At the top of our agenda this evening in sports, and Ghana under-20 coach Celestete has included 8 foreign-based players in his final 21-man squad for the upcoming FIFA Under-20 World Cup in New Zealand. Famous among the foreign players are Spain-based Clifford Abuache, who will be making a second appearance at the competition. The list also includes Italy-based Goffred Donsa. And here's a full squad selected by head coach Celestete, who won the tournament in 2009. Here we have it. We first of all start with the goalkeepers. Kwame Ba of Heart Alliance, the Seydou Mutawakilu of Hearts of Oak. There is Lawrence Atazigi of Red Bull Salzburg for defenders. There's Kinsley Phoebe. There's Owusu Bempa of Hearts of Oak. There is Joseph Edu of Inter Allies. Joseph Ajay of One All Stars. Emmanuel Intime of Valenciennes in France. There's Patrick Asma of BA United. There's Patrick Bozo of Inter Allies. For midfielders, we have Seydou Atobra of New Dubiase. There is Goffred Donsa of Cagliari in the Italian Serie A. There's Kofi Abua of Wild Stars. There's Prosper Kasim of Inter Allies. There's David Atanga of Red Bull Salzburg. There's Yao Yabua of Manchester City. Clifford Abuaji of Granada. Osei Banz of Paris Ferreira in Portugal. For strikers, there's Benjamin Tete of Dreams FC. Emmanuel Boateng of Rayo Ave. And Samuel Tete of Wild Stars. Now we can talk about Richard Kinsing, and the Accra Great Olympics goalkeeper has exclusively told Joy Sports he's not thinking of retiring from active football anytime soon. The veteran goalkeeper has been on blistering form for the Accra-based club in the season's First Capital Plus Premier League. Olele, as he is known, conceded just 2 goals and 5 appearances in the first half of the season, and according to the 36-year-old, he has more years ahead of him.
Me myself, I don't know, but I believe when the time comes, I will stop, and I will not wait for somebody to tell me I have to stop. But when the time comes, I will stop. As I am still training, you know, in football, you have to listen to yourself. You have to listen to yourself, and yourself will tell you stop. Some people just stop because of maybe some people, oh, you have to stop, you have to stop, you have to stop, you have to stop. No, you have to listen to yourself. If you know you cannot, then you have to stop. And I believe that time will come and I will stop. But for now, I don't know.
Seems like it's going to take such a long time before he decides to retire. He has 90 caps for the Black Stars. He'll be looking to get back into this. Now let's talk about the national under-23 team. And head coach Malik Jaber has exclusively told Joy Sports he's confident of recording a win against Claude Leroy's Congo-Brazzaville on Sunday in the Olympic qualifier. The national under-23 side is aiming a comeback to the Olympics after almost 14 years out, but they have to clear the hurdle beginning with Sunday's first leg encounter with Congo at the Accra Sports Stadium. Head coach Malik Jaber, whose squad has been boosted by the inclusion of foreign-based players, is upbeat about the clash.
Since last Monday, and we've just ended it yesterday, and we moved to Accra yesterday. Now, yesterday afternoon, we started preparation from the Accra Stadium. That's where we are going to play the match.
So how are your boys positioned now?
Oh, well, no, as for preparation, it has no end. Physically, we are fine, but we are now infusing 1 or 2 people who have just come in to help. So from today, we have a trial match today around 3. So we'll look at it today, make the finishing up tomorrow, and Saturday we'll be ready.
How's motivation like for the boys?
Oh, fine, no problem, no problem. As for the they are okay. They are prepared for the match.
So what should we expect on Sunday?
To qualify. That is all we are after. We want to qualify for Olympic Games.
That's going to be a very busy weekend for the Black Queens and the Black Meteors. We wish them all the best of luck. That'll be all for sports. Gifty is standing by with some more. Do stay on.
International news now. Senior research fellow at the Legon Center for International Affairs and Diplomacy, Dr. Vladimir Enchidanso, says regional integration is the antidote to the recent terrorist attacks on some West African countries. Dr. Enchidanso explains divisions among some heads of West African community states are to blame to an extent for the situation. He's however calling on the new ECOWAS chair, Macky Sall, to work hard to eliminate partitions among heads of state.
We need to crisscross the whole of West Africa with railways, roads, and whatnot. And I tell you, that is when ECOWAS will be ECOWAS. That is when each country will benefit. But we keep on meeting and talking about targets. We said in 2003, 2005, we were going to get a second currency. That the 5 French-speaking countries will get one currency, second monetary zone. We postponed it to 2009. Then 2015, we are there already. All right? And nothing has happened.
Free movement of persons, goods and services, do you think is something attainable?
It is. If Europe has attained it, why not? Because, you know,
looking at resources in Africa or in West Africa, is this something we can achieve easily?
We can achieve and overachieve that. No, because if integration goes on smoothly, you would see that I can stay in Accra and work in Nigeria.
Issues like Nigeria's Boko Haram are some of the issues that probably will be the fear that if those barriers are removed, I mean, such things can easily be transferred to other countries. You think that is not an issue we should be concerned about?
Absolutely not. If you are well integrated, no backyard can be burning. Take Europe. Collectively, they will dodge the fire before it blows.
Burundi is still in the news. President of Burundi, Pierre Nkurunziza, has been photographed playing football as protests continue over his bid to run for a third term in office. Mr. Nkurunziza was playing in his daily kickabout with friends in the capital, Bujumbura. In the latest unrest, a protester was shot dead in Bujumbura. Last week, there was a failed coup against Mr. Nkurunziza. Senior officials from both the army and police have been accused of involvement. The protester was shot in the back by police in the opposition stronghold of Musaka, a witness had said. That's it for international news. Information reaching Joy News indicates the Western Regional Deputy Women's Organizer of the National Democratic Congress, Arba Tego, was attacked this evening with a cutlass by some unknown persons. Our Western Regional Correspondent, William Benjamin Peters, joins us on the telephone lines with some more. Hello, William. Can you confirm the attacks?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And as I speak, she's responding to treatment at the Gapoha hospital here in Takrady.
Has the case been reported to the police, and what has any arrest been made?
Yeah, I just received information that the attacker has been arrested by the Takrady police, and he's in their custody. But the police have refused to comment on the matter. And let me clear the air on this matter. There is a report that Madam Arwetego has passed on.
Yeah.
But fortunately, I just spoke to her about 5 minutes ago. I spoke to her personally. And she told me she's okay, but she refused to comment on the matter and told me I should come and see her personally tomorrow. So I'll do that.
All right, thank you very much. We'll keep our fingers on that particular story as it unfolds. William Benjamin Peters is our Western Regional Correspondent, and in the Bulletin this hour, our top stories. A police team of forensic experts arrived at Bolgatanga to conduct an autopsy on the body of the late NPP Regional Chairman to ascertain the actual cause of his death. Meanwhile, Vice Presidential candidate Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is calling for calm as the police handles what he describes as a criminal matter. The Judicial Service Staff Association has called off its 2-day-old strike following an order for the payment of their outstanding arrears by the Finance Ministry. Also, as the country battles with energy supply, some telecommunication companies say they spend about 60% of their revenue on fuel to power their generators. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. My name is Gifty Andropia, and up next is PM Express with Nana and Sakwa. Please stay tuned.
This is Joy News Prime.